Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Just the Tip, the show where we raw dog any and all topics as suggested by you, our audience. So remember, head down to the comments section and let us know what you want us to talk about. I'm Monty.
And I'm a little teapot, short and stout. This is my handle. This is my spout. King Benjamin Cage.
He came to play today, folks. He came to play.
Yeah.
I like to play with my dog, but some people they love their dogs a little too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, they become like family members to some people. They like.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I get the connection. Some's deeper than others.
Exactly. Like I really love hanging out with the pup, and I think of it, as like a nephew or something. Like
a furry grand cousin.
Yeah, something like that. But apparently, some people want their dog to be their new spouse because if you look over here, Florida man was caught having sex with a dog, and he destroys a nativity scene. What do you think about that? I mean, come on. I mean, I've heard of people loving their dogs the way they love their children, but this is a whole another weird level.
It gives a whole new meaning to the away in a manger.
Just look at his eyes, though. He looks dead inside. Like, you kind of have to be to do something like that.
Like,
it's like,
who did he replace? Did he knock anybody out of the nativity scene, or was he? I'm fucking stumped on this one. This one's fucking crazy.
It's weird. He's got a look on his face that said, "I'll do it again."
What dog consents to this?
I don't think consent was at the forefront of his mind.
Well, no, but like
always get consent.
The dog's reaction, and I'm not. This isn't even a visual I want fucking scarred into my fucking brain, but the dog, your wiener's out. The dog, like,
maybe there was peanut butter involved.
No, it's just because your dog likes peanut butter doesn't make it a service dog.
Not that kind of service, but
what? Yeah, dude. What? You could get bit in the dick. But still, and not only is it disgusting to be attracted to by something like
not a woman,
interspecies erotica fucko.
Yeah.
Quote Clerks too. But that is, dude. What the absolute fuck? Like, and this dude will be out on the streets because, like, it's not a person. Thank God. But I don't know. It's still a dog. It's still.
It's somehow worse and better at the same time. Like, I'm glad no body was harmed because of him.
Wow.
But, like, it just goes to show you that Florida's weird. Like, it's always Florida, man.
But, like, I don't know.
I'd consider, like, I want to move there for at least a little while. Maybe not my whole life.
I question the authenticity of this whole fucking thing. I don't know if this is actually real. If this actually is real, and this is the dude that did this. I don't know who Nathan Dudley is. Is that Nathan Dudley up top?
That's
it's not. It looks like an actor or some shit.
Well, it looks like him. It's that new app on Facebook that does all the caricatures. But here's the thing. You don't know if it's true or not because it's freaking Florida. Like,
there's some cracked out motherfuckers that do dumb shit. I'm sure this stuff.
Well, you remember the bath salts in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Like, that was crazy.
But the dude, he doesn't. I mean, you look at him, he looks like somebody, just some regular ass dude. But like,
he looks like the kind of guy that his neighbor would go, "I can't believe he would do something like that. He's always been such a nice young man.
Free my homie dog fucker." No.
Free my homie. He's like, "What did your homie do?" Well, what had happened was...
he put his peener in the dog's dirt star.
Oh, God.
Dude. Yeah, I don't really have much to throw on this topic other than if this dude is fucking dogs, then that's...
unfortunately...
The nativity scene is just a whole different extra background. Like
it's like why a nativity scene? Like,
yeah,
do you hate Jesus and Christianity that much?
Fuck this dog in front of Jesus. Baby Jesus can go witness this shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm at a loss on that one.
He's gonna get to hell, and Satan's gonna be like, "Hey, big fan of your work."
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not a believer in the heaven and hell thing, so
I'm just saying though, like,
I mean, can you imagine, like, oh
wow, you
imagine just taking the kids and driving by a nativity scene and seeing
just some guy going to town on a dog. It's like what? It's like you're trying to drive and cover their eyes at the same time. It's like no.
I want to see the aftermath, though. I want to know what the nativity scene looks like afterward. I don't want to see any of the...
I feel like I don't want to Google, like, Florida man and dog, though. Like, that's...
No, I don't want that on my search history.
Yeah,
at all.
That's...
But yeah, thank you for my homies for sending that in our group chat, because that gave us an opening segment right there that's just fucking disturbing.
Literally 2 minutes ago, we got this, and it's like...
See his neck beard. He got the fucking. It's even kind of like almost lined up. Maybe he's just fucking low functioning, and maybe something's wrong with him. But I'm not justifying his actions with the dog. But
no, this is one of those people that I just don't want around society.
Or dogs.
Well, yeah. I consider dogs part of society.
Could have been worse.
Dogs are part of polite society.
Fucking a hamster.
God, the hamster just explodes.
He'd be like, my dick was cold, and I needed a sleeve for it. You know, almost get away with that one.
Hamsters always die in like the weirdest ways. I've never heard of a hamster just naturally dying, but that would have to be the weirdest way to say, "Hey, my hamster died." How'd your hamster die? Well, you see, this dude, he was at a nativity scene.
No.
Oh God.
Consenting hamsters. Yeah,
oh, please.
Yeah, I think we can go to the next topic.
Let's move on to something that is hopefully not as bad, and that is Disney got a brand new CEO. Bob Iger. Brand new old CEO. They brought this guy back, Bob Iger. Igor. That's fine. We'll call him. Let's see. He's returning to run the media empire in a shocking development at Hollywood's biggest company. Bob Chapek, who replaced Iger in 2020 as CEO, is stepping down immediately. Well, you know what stepping down means. It means the bosses got in there and said, "Hey, we think you should step down."
Well, I would probably attribute that stepping down to them failing on so many fucking levels with a lot of their movies and a lot of their comic book adaptations to movies. But I don't know that Bob Iger is going to make anything really change trajectory on where it's going, because no, they're still doing the dumb shit, man. They're taking, it's a book burning on a modern level. They're taking characters that people grew up familiar with and bastardizing them or switching them up and making them, whatever the popular move is at that time, whatever representation they think they need to be, and they're shitting on it. And as long as they continue to do that, like, your people that brought you to the dance are probably just gonna fucking leave you there.
Here's what I think these media companies don't understand is that we want to see exactly what we saw as a kid, except on the big screen. We don't want anything to be different. Don't change the story, don't change the characters, and they're going to give you the argument of, but that's boring. Don't you want it to be new and innovative? It's like, no, I'm watching this for the nostalgia.
Yeah, the boring part is what, again, brought them to the dance. Like, that's where it built up. It gave them the audience that's there. But when it's, and I say this to people all the time, they're like, well, it's just a comic book character, they can rewrite it any way they want. Technically, yes, they can. But here's the deal. If I like Lucky Charms cereal, and that's my favorite cereal, and you start changing the ingredients of it, start taking out my marshmallows and putting in fucking poop chips or some other shit.
I was gonna say chocolate chips.
And just taking the ingredients and moving it away from what I fucking was accustomed to eating and loving, I will no longer consume this product.
Exactly.
And I'm actually, it's very hard right now. I am trying to vote, and it's an ANCAP. It's not really a word we want to use anymore because I've tried the voting thing, it doesn't really work. But like, vote with your money and stop funding projects that subsidize this bullshit. Like, I'm done with the Marvel U. I'm not going to go watch their movies. Like,
I will watch them on stream. No. I'm not, like, it's very rare for me to go to the theater and spend, by the end of the night, like $20-$30 to watch a movie. Endgame, definitely went to see
right
that.
There, it dropped off after that, though.
I feel like
significantly.
I feel like the main problem is after Endgame is there's just too much going on. Like, the universe just got to be too big, and the casual fan that they were bringing in no longer really cares, and that's what most of the fans are, is the casual fans.
Right.
And that's part of what they keep trying to do, is they want to try to appeal to a much broader demographic.
Right.
But if they keep the characters the way they're supposed to be, and they keep the story, like, I will watch another Spider-Man reboot. I will. I know the story. I know Uncle Ben dies, great power, great responsibility. I will watch it.
I would not watch another reboot. That's why I still haven't watched that new Batman. The newest Batman. I've not watched it. Like, I love Batman. But fuck, how many times are we going to do this? And I heard it's more comic book accurate than all the other ones, but I'm just still kind of like, what the fuck, man? Can we just pick a direction and move with it?
It is. So I liked what they were trying to do with, like, the Batman vs. Superman. And we discussed this before. Because that I felt was pretty comic book accurate for the most part, except when they started bringing in everything else. But going back to the original point is, just give us exactly what we grew up with.
And another reason I don't think Bob Iger or whatever, I don't think he's going to make much of a difference, because they're never going to take the boots on the ground approach. They're never going to take the fans that actually fucking supported this throughout and go, okay, this is what they want. They're going to give you their adaptation. They get all these other writers on these projects that are fucking woke writers and want to pander to these, these other cultures, rather than actually keep it comic book accurate. Like, they're more worried about the agenda, which is why I call it a modern day book burning. Like, they want to take culture, they want to fracture society by implementing all these fucking these things into it. Like, they're just going to saturate it, and
well, you can see
you're going to lose money doing that.
Well, you can see here, investors cheered the news, sending Disney shares up 9% after the stock lost roughly 36% of its value this year. Now, the entirety of the stock market is down around 20%, but even if we don't factor that in, you're talking about a 16 to 20% loss in your share price, and that's massive.
Right.
But apparently after they named him, it says here that it did rise up 9% after they named him the new CEO. So investors and people are hoping that they will change some of these approaches that they're doing. And if they, excuse me, and if they get the boots on the ground and actually pay attention like they did at the beginning of, like, the Marvel universe,
right,
then I think it'll be great. Because it says here they lost $1.5 billion in the fourth quarter based on their streaming businesses. Like, people are just opting out.
Too, though. Like, they were doing a lot. They were putting out a lot of dumb stuff. Like, they were like I don't know.
Well, so many people were opting out of the streaming services.
Yeah.
Because there's too many streaming services now.
Right.
Like, it started off with Netflix. That was cool. And then, it killed Blockbuster. But now you got Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, Disney, ESPN Plus has one, which is owned by Disney. There's Peacock, yeah. There's
Tubi and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's easily like 10 different streaming services, and we went from replacing cable with, a streaming service that had a great library full of content, to now every company's like, well, we want a piece of this. We're only going to allow our content on our streaming service.
Right.
And it's not hard for them to do. They have the resources to do it.
Right.
So, like, people are just like, why do I need to pay 10 for this, 20 for that, 20 for...
Consolidate.
Exactly.
No, and that's where I'm at. Like I said, like, Endgame was kind of like... And I don't even think anything leading up to Endgame, it wasn't even comic book accurate. But it was kind of, I took the approach, okay, if I can't love the one I want, I'll love the one I'm with. And so I loved seeing Thanos, because Thanos is one of my favorite, characters reading throughout the 90s and part of the 80s. But I watched him on there, and I'm kind of like, well, this isn't comic book accurate Thanos, and this isn't comic book accurate Infinity Gauntlet. Like, he didn't go and get the gems that way. These gems, like, it was an infinite power. There was nothing really challenging it at all. But it was still good to watch, and it was kind of cool to see. And then Endgame just kind of like, they had to walk all that back, and it made like, what is it, fucking infinity plot hole.
Yeah, I was so worried when they went
like,
time travel.
Here we go.
When they went time travel and then they brought everyone back, it was just kind of like, I don't know if there's any time travel fix where it doesn't cause some sort of plot hole. It's like there's just always some sort of paradox that occurs. Now, I did like multiverse is a way they always use to explain stuff. So that could have been a great way to explain it. But you're right about But you're right about the lack of comic book accuracy, and part of that is because it's hard having so many characters to have them all comic book accurate. So, and I don't mind them taking a few liberties with how you get from him wanting the gauntlet and the gems to him getting it.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be exactly like a specific comic book, as long as it's still cool. Right. As long as there's still that threat of danger.
I think the multiverse thing is a double-edged sword. There are stories that are kind of cool, like, okay, like there's parts where like Superman's a bad guy and stuff like that, like Injustice, and you have all those things, but it's a double-edged sword in the fact that like it also gives writers an excuse to take something and completely deviate from what they actually are. And then you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't Batman, this isn't Superman, this is stupid. Like, so it's a way to
piggyback off of the name brand,
right,
and do whatever you want instead of being creative and coming up with a show and a character that's actually a good character. Because, I mean, they have so many resources at Disney. They could make a brand new character, make it awesome, if they're willing to get their boots on the ground, and work at it. But a lot of these things are just a cash grab now. Yeah. They're putting this guy in charge again. I'm hoping their content gets better, gets back to what it used to be, kind of like pre-Endgame. But
I'm off. I don't care anymore. And that's just me personally. Like, I've watched you shit on so many characters, the gender swaps, the race swaps. I mean, it's like you're more concerned with pandering to people that don't even fucking read what you're doing or read what or care about what you're doing than you are the people that fucking funded you to get to this point.
Yeah.
You're more concerned about doing that, and then it's just like, okay, like, you've changed the ingredients to my cereal, I no longer am interested. Like,
I feel like when Stan Lee died, that's when you really see that change. Like, they took way more liberties.
I mean, not even just with that. Like you look at the Star Wars franchise with, like, when Kathleen Kennedy and the last fucking trilogy was dog shit.
Well, I heard something about them possibly getting rid of her now that Bob Iger. I keep thinking Bob Igor because you were saying that.
Igor.
But like I heard they're thinking about maybe getting rid of her, and probably they'll want to reboot it after. Like, they'll get rid of her. And they'll say, hey, we know you guys didn't like it. We're going to reboot it with a whole new... And that doesn't mean they're going to do a good job with the next ones. But
start doing some Old Republic shit. I heard Andor's really good. I don't care, though. At this point, I just don't fucking care anymore. Like, like, they Boba Fett shit, like, they brought him back, and it was pretty much Mandalorian 2.5. Because, like...
I was going to say, are they still doing Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think the next season's coming up in a couple months or whatever.
Because I know they got rid of the one actress for the political stuff.
But they kept
and then
fucking Pablo, the guy that's actually the guy.
It's
fucking.
It's like I've seen a few episodes of it.
Some of the shit he tweeted was just wow. Like, it was far worse than what Gina did. Like,
I didn't see about what
he said it lockstep to what liberal media wants. They're like, oh yeah, he's a keeper. Like, he's on our side. He's going to shield for us.
Yeah, like,
whereas Gina was just kind of like, this is fucking wrong, and they were like, yeah, guess what, you don't have a job.
see, her tweets, like, I understand why people got mad about the way she said what she said, but like the point she was making, I understand.
They validated her point by firing her.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Yeah. Well, like originally, I forget exactly what it was, but she had brought like she had mentioned like the Nazis and like how the media normalized the distancing.
The COVID practices, like, you know, like
yeah,
like,
yeah, but like
she was equating the two, like, hey, do you see the similarities here? Cause
yeah,
a lot of striking similarities.
Yeah, like it was one of those things. Like it takes a lot of critical thinking to kind of, because she did it in the span of a couple of tweets, and you're not gonna get your full idea across to everybody in that. Like something like that needs to have a sit down discussion, go through everything. Right. So like I said, I understand why people were getting mad at her tweets, because I don't think she was able to get her full idea across.
I just think
in the span of a couple of tweets.
She said something unpopular during a popular movement that everybody was kind of on board with. She was going one direction while the rest of the fucking sheep were going another.
She was being a contrarian.
Like, hey, you guys are going the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then they got mad at her for it.
Well, she was being a contrarian to what the public belief was, but still, two things can be true at the same time. Like, she was going against, the popular belief, but she also didn't do the greatest of jobs conveying exactly what she wants, because she did it through a couple of tweets.
Right, but what she said in the tweets wasn't inaccurate, though. That's Raul.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
but it's not. It's more.
But you got to remember,
they don't have the capacity to understand where she was coming from. So that's more their fault than it is her fault.
But that's what I'm saying. Like she didn't make herself completely clear in a way where anybody could understand it. Like I said, you have to think about what she was saying. Mm-hmm. And when people see a tweet, they're not. 90% of people aren't going to go.
They're knee jerk.
What's the context of this?
Right.
And
let me say it for you. I can't understand it for you. And that's not on her. That's on them. Like fucking, deepen your thought process and your ability to think for yourself. Don't get mad because you were told to get fucking mad. Like, okay, why am I mad? Why should I be mad about this? Ask questions. Research it. Look at it.
And that's
Take
the
perspective.
problem.
Take perspective. And that's what, like, the crowd that got mad at them don't have the capacity to do that. That's why she got shit on.
Yeah, like, it's the problem with, like, Twitter used to be 140 characters. Now it's 280, I believe.
Yeah, I think Elon doubled it up or something like that.
Yeah, but even still, whether it's 140 characters or 280, it's such, that's barely a sentence or two. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many people that I like what Elon's doing with Twitter so far. Mm-hmm. Like he wants everyone, as long as it's not, violent or, something like that, or making fun of him in particular. Right. He wants people to say what they feel. But the problem is, you only have, a sentence or two. You can't have a real discussion like that. Everything's so shortened. Like, it's hard to add context.
Well, you can through video. You can put links of videos. Like, like a video like us doing this right now. We can put it on Twitter, and then actually, okay, there's perspective. Yeah,
but like most people, when they're scrolling through Twitter, they're not going to sit there and watch a video more than like 30 to 60 seconds.
They say history repeats itself, and I just think idiots repeat themselves.
Well, what's that? Don't argue with an idiot; they'll drag you down and beat you with experience.
Right. Well, I mean, or like but it's. I mean, with the Gina thing, or just anybody that's like, even with fucking Kyrie right now, or even Kanye. And Kanye just said some retarded ass shit on fucking Alex Jones. He said like, I love Nazis, and like, whoa, dude, like, okay, you might want to like wrap that up.
Well, like Kanye's so all over the spectrum. Like I haven't even paid attention to him since his graduation album.
There's hints of truth in what he's saying, and some of he's saying he's just very fucking erratic.
Well, I mean, most things, like, there's gonna be some hint of truth to it, like most, like how does a stereotype start? Well, one or two people are doing a thing, but then it gets applied to everyone else, and it becomes a stereotype that's not true.
Right. But
people are like, wait, there was one or two people that did do that, like, oh, like the the terrorists on 9/11 were Muslim. All Muslims are terrorists. It's like those particular ones were. Not all of them are, but people will go, but what about those ones?
Disagree with that whole statement for another podcast.
We'll do a whole nother episode.
Yes, we will.
But you see, my point is that, like they see one person of a particular race or demographic or whatever do it, and they apply that stereotype. It's like, okay, there's a hint of truth because, that, but that doesn't mean it's true across the board.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of people don't understand.
I think what social media has done to people, and just it's called knee-jerk society, and that's what I'm calling it.
It's what can I be? There's a lot of virtue signaling.
Like, okay,
virtue signaling.
Right,
that's
virtue
what I was
signaling. What can I do? How can I be part of this popular movement? Because I can't fit in anywhere else, so I have to be on Team Popular. Yeah. What everybody else mantra they're fucking chanting, I'm going to jump on that side because I just want to feel a part of something. Because really, I have no individuality whatsoever. This is where I'm going with it. I got to be popular. If I go in any other direction, then I'm a failure.
Yeah, you end up getting with that.
I am unapologetically myself, and I say stuff that pisses off Republicans. I say stuff that pisses off liberals. I say stuff that pisses off everybody. But that's actually just me coming and thinking and going, okay, this is how I feel. You don't have to agree with what I feel. But this is why I feel that way. And I don't really even have to explain it to people, but sometimes I will.
No, but in order to have an open dialogue,
right.
You explain what you think, why you think it. The other person explains what they think and why they think it.
Right.
And
they don't want that though. They just want their point of view.
That's arguing with an idiot thing.
Yeah.
It's because a polite society is not only an armed society, but one that has an open dialogue and can communicate back and forth rather than, wait, what did you say? I don't like you anymore. We're gonna put you over there in the corner and cancel you, and
right.
No one's gonna ever listen to what you have to say again.
You know that equates to. It's kind of like, this is very relationship-esque, where one spouse is possessive of the other. So in order for them, one's out there, the one is just accusing the other of cheating all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
the one that's accusing is the one that's always doing it. And so
they're projecting.
Anytime the gig almost gets close to being up, they'll suppress what information that they're available to so that they don't find out that they were projecting the whole time. That's exactly what's going on here. Wait a minute, you're saying something I don't like. You shouldn't be allowed to say it.
Yeah.
No, I should be allowed to say it because if it has any substance to it at all, it should be heard, and we should probably try to figure this out rather than nope, I'm right, you're wrong, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And we're not talking about going around spewing hate speech and inciting violence and whatnot. It's just let's say I think property taxes and inheritance taxes, most taxes, I don't think they should be a thing. There are some people that think, oh, we have to have taxes. It's okay, let's have a dialogue about these. Why do you think we got to have this one? Why do you think, it's personally, I think if your house is paid off, you shouldn't have to keep paying taxes on it.
Fuck no.
But I digress. It's that open dialogue that people seem to not want to have these days about topics. Now, if someone's going around yelling, hey, I hate this group of people, why do you hate them? No particular reason. I just really hate them. It's
right.
Okay, that's not, you're
allowed to.
You're allowed to,
but be an asshole by doing it, but you're allowed to.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. It's you say oh, I hate Arabs. Well, why do you hate Arabs? Because they're all terrorists. Okay, that's not.
It's a blanket statement.
Yeah,
it's not even accurate.
That's not accurate at all. It's
right.
It's but if you say, oh, I hate those particular guys. It's why? Well, because they were terrorists. It's
right.
Okay, I get. And that's the problem that we have a lot with social media is everything's just so small and just so in your face and just constantly moving. There's a lot of overstimulation
right.
happening, and it's hard to sit down and have that open dialogue and use our critical thinking skills to actually come together and solve a problem. Because I might feel one way about something, and I might be completely wrong about it, but I want to know if I'm completely wrong about it.
Right.
If I say grass is blue, and you say grass.
Don't tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's hey, come out here, take a look at this. some of it's green, some of it's, brown, dyeing, all that. It's like, okay, cool.
Right.
I just learned something. I'm open to learning that.
Basically, though, what it is, and we'll get back to the Disney thing being that they're not going to, I don't think they're going to change trajectory. I really just don't.
Because they don't want to have that open
Bring up
dialogue.
what I sent you earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This photo here.
No, that's the dog fucker. That's the wrong one.
I know. We're getting to it.
There we go. All right.
So I hope you guys can see this on your screen. If you can't, or if you're just listening in, I will read it out for you. And no accents this time. Queer Eye for comic books. LGBTQ plus voices on IP adaptations for film and TV. September 14th, 2022. This panel will bring together LGBTQ writers and film/TV executives to discuss the process of adapting comic book IP for film and television, with a focus on breathing life into queer characters, either those already queer on the page or reinterpreting legacy characters into a new queer light. Which basically this says, hey, we're gonna hijack these characters and do what we want for them for our agenda, rather than respecting the characters and creating a good story.
Absolutely.
Now, where did you find this?
That content creator Nerdrotic shared it, and a couple other people shared it as well. But my take on that is like, and I have friends that are, have different sexual preferences than me, and they're very fine people. What I say when stuff like this, like what they do is when they put this out here like this, and they go, okay, well, we're going to get diversity, we're going to get representation, all that stuff. They're basically, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They're going to go and they're going to integrate and they're going to assimilate and they're going to go into these, like these are our people. We got you. But literally, they'll turn on you the moment you become inconvenient. And that's just how it is. Like they're taking cultures that are out there and they're jumping in them and pushing on an agenda. And then like the very moment that that's not popular anymore, they'll discard them. And yeah, and this is another reason why I think like Mr. Igor or whatever it's not going to change, because this is the movement, this is the direction they're going. So it's non-authentic. There are people out there that have these, but like they don't just parade that around. Like,
see, there's a difference between, there's a difference between including people and then
right.
using the stereotypes that we were talking about to try and like, they want to bring these different groups to light, mm-hmm. which I think that's a good thing. Right. Everyone deserves to have representation.
I don't think they do it for that purpose, though.
Well, yeah, but
they say they do it for that purpose, so that way, when you don't like the product that they put out, they can call you a homophobic. They can call you misogynist. They can put already predetermined, like, you don't like it, and this is why it's failing. No, we don't like it because it's not authentic. You're a fraud.
Yeah,
that's what the fuck it is.
See, the problem comes with they're trying to include these people, which, like I said, I think everyone should have representation mm-hmm. in media. Race, gender, sexual, whatever it is, you should have your representation. But the problem that we see with a lot of the representation that they try and throw out there is a lot of it's just stereotypes. They're just pushing, like, if a character's gay, they make that the entire personality of the character, and they take away everything else
right.
from him or her.
Like, this is the first thing you should see about me, nothing else.
Yeah. Like they end up bastardizing the sexuality of the character,
which makes it even more inauthentic.
Yeah. And really they're just disrespecting like the gay community when right. they do that, because someone who's gay, that's not who they are. That's just a trait that they have.
Right.
And that's the problem, I think, when they try to do this with these characters, is they turn that one trait into the entirety of the character, when really, that person's a human being with hopes and dreams and aspirations who just happens.
Yeah, sexual preference happens to be a little, may not be what yours is.
Yeah, but they take these characters and they go, this character's gay, guess what? We're going to have them wave dildos around or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's not what it is. That
hasn't happened yet that I know of.
I'm just saying, like, they take that one thing and they
that's what shows that is what is the book burning part of it all is, okay, it's again, if we put it out there enough and it looks virtuous enough, and what it does is the people that don't fit into society, like there are people in the LGBTQ things that only went there because they didn't fit in anywhere else. Again, like kind of like I was saying before, like they didn't fit in. They were introverted. They just, and so like, okay, wait, this is a popular movement, and they're jumping in. So like, it's really a mind mush on people that are very weak-willed and just or depressed or just don't fit in. So like, they're really fucking with people's heads, mm-hmm. and by doing so through propaganda, through media, through movies, through books, through comic books, through whatever, and this is how they're doing it. So,
well, like I said, if like instead of treating these people as people who happen to have a certain characteristic, mm-hmm. they make that characteristic they define the people by that characteristic.
Right.
It's no different than, any other, stereotype, like,
right.
Muslims are terrorists, Mexicans steal things or whatever. Like,
right.
They take that one and I think it disrespects the people that they're trying to represent by doing it that
Absolutely.
way. Like you can have a superhero who, happens to be gay.
Right.
And they can be a great superhero.
Right.
That it's like, okay, but like there's your representation. Like right. Put the story first.
Right.
And then it's like, because a lot of it's just like, I don't care. Like I get bored if the story's boring. I'm gonna turn it off. Like I'm not gonna.
And it's gonna get boring if that's your lead thing. This dude is this. He's gay, and that's what you're leading, and that's what the focal point is. It's not authentic. Mm-hmm. Like there have been gay characters in comic books for quite some time, and they've never even hit the main screen at all, or even
really?
North Star from Alpha Flight. He was a gay guy. Who else was there? Dakin, Wolverine's son. He was bisexual. You don't hear about that. Like there's so many other out there, but instead they're taking ones that have been straight or this color for 60 years, and all of a sudden flip it.
So, like going back to the Wolverine's son, I think that could make maybe like a great movie, as like, because we've had the Wolverine movies. That might be a great character to introduce and bring that aspect of him to light,
right?
While still having a very good movie. Like I don't know what powers does he have.
He's pretty much like Wolverine. I think he has like the 2 claws instead of the 3. He has like the kind of like almost like the teapot like I do, but it's pulled back here. Kind of looks like a cross between Conan and Wolverine.
So that could make a very good story. Like because we know so much about Wolverine. And the character's already, bisexual. Like that can be an aspect of his character. Right. That could make a great movie. Yeah. Like
there's plenty.
Like I'd love to see some lore surrounding the family of Wolverine.
It's just like the race swaps too. Like when you switch Nick Fury or whoever. Like there were people that are black folks in comic books that were really badass characters and never really got brought to light. Like you could have brought them up. You could have evolved these characters and taken them from comic books and put their adaptation onto the screen, like Brother Voodoo and
Static Shock was always one of my favorite.
Yeah, Static Shock.
Like I'd love to see a Static Shock movie.
Yeah.
Let's cast Michael B. Jordan in that.
Yeah, like
actually, I don't know. He might be. It's like he was Static Shock was a teenager, so Michael B. might be a little too old. But
yeah.
But that's the But that's the thing. They're trying to use the popularity of these major characters and just be lazy about it. I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
The writers,
they want to be lazy. Like instead of using this character and writing a good story for them.
You see what James Gunn did with Peacemaker when John Cena was playing it, which the show was actually pretty funny. I will say that. And
I don't know anything about Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not going to say it's not. I did watch the series, but Peacemaker is not the Peacemaker you would read in the comic books. And John Cena want to actually read about this so that he could kind of like take from the book and put it to the screen. And James Gunn was like, I don't want you reading it. He told him not to read it. So like basically they took that character that existed in comic books, and it might have been a better upgrade because like I thought it was kind of funny. Might be an unpopular opinion for some, but and in the book he was very bland, but on the screen he was not.
I mean that's fine if they're actually improving on the character though.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're not.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'd like to see a movie with Wolverine's son, but there's also speaking of people and Disney and movies. Did you see what James Cameron said?
Mm-mm.
He said that testosterone is a toxin.
Oh, I did see that.
And I want to emphasize to everyone, testosterone is not a toxin, okay? It is a hormone. It is the hormone that's...
Because whores be moaning.
It's the hormone associated with quote-unquote masculinity, but, you know, testosterone is the main hormone, in guys. And how do you call something that doesn't really like make us who we are, but like it makes us men, basically? How do you call that a toxin when you yourself are a man?
I'm sending Armand a video of our podcast right now. What the neck is going on, Armand?
Hello, Armand. Bring that neck over here. But like testosterone being a toxin, like
dude, he's a shill for that lockstep dumb shit, and that's all it is. Like, no, you know what you did?
Dude,
Your movie isn't out yet, is it?
No, I was gonna say.
You told everybody else, don't go see my shit.
Exactly,
Shut the fuck up.
Like, don't even take the fact that he understands nothing about human biology or just biology in general. Like, how bad of a business move is that when you've got a movie that you've spent over $1 billion on?
It's not even going to make it back.
No.
I almost guarantee it. Like, look at the movies that are putting out right now on Disney and stuff. They're putting all this money in, and they're putting out $3 and getting $1 back. But yeah, good luck there, Mr. James Cameron.
But calling testosterone a toxin, like when someone has that much, influence, and so it's like kids are gonna see this, like it's like, I'm a boy, I have testosterone. Am I sick?
You're shaming, like they're emasculating men is what they want. They don't want people that can stand up for themselves. That's pretty much where all this fucking shit leads to.
Yeah, and like my thing, and I said it in the last podcast, like, believe what you want to believe and what you do, as long as you're not hurting anyone or trying to influence children with your beliefs. I don't really care.
Right.
I
mean, I wouldn't say influence children is a bad thing, but if you were doing things that are beyond their comprehension, or their scale of learning, and because they're sponges, they're going to become a product of their environment, or they're going to reject that product of their environment and become the exact opposite. So,
well, everything has to be age appropriate, and not only does it have to be age appropriate in how you explain it, it also, you have to make sure that the parents know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Like if, like I have friends that are teachers, like they got young kids in their classes, and it's like, if one kid happens to have two moms, another kid asks about it, teacher should just say, oh, yeah, some families, they have two moms, they have two dads.
Right.
It's like, well, why? It's like, that's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say. But there's like mostly blue and green and pink haired teachers out there. You see them on TikTok all the time. I just told my kids I'm non-binary, that today I'm a woman. It's like, I don't care if you do that. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But don't tell little kids.
Yeah, keep your fucking sex life to yourself and your sexual preference to yourself.
Whether you're straight, gay, or in between.
If I was a parent,
don't talk to a kid like that.
If I knew that, and my child was being taught or conditioned by somebody, like I'd fucking pull them out
Exactly.
later.
I don't care if the teacher's straight and doing that. Like you just shouldn't be
Right.
talking to children about that.
Right.
Like kids shouldn't.
That's that Florida bill where they called it the Don't Say Gay bill. That's not actually what it was. It was just an anti-grooming bill where they said, okay, we should not be talking about sex until about this age. So like sexual preference, like all this other stuff, keep it out of this bracket right here.
Yeah,
this is where they start to get a little curious. Exposure.
Fifth or sixth grade, I believe it was. Like
we
when
like,
they
don't say gay bill. Like, no, that's not what the fuck it was. That's just their way of like, okay, we're gonna spin this so it looks fucking homophobic or whatever. Like,
yeah, like I said, if you're straight and you're talking to a 5-year-old about sex, that's just as weird.
Yeah.
As if you're anything else and talking to a 5-year-old about sex.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah, like those.
Disgusting.
And then they have this victim mentality where it's like, oh, you hate me because I'm this. It's like, no, I hate you because that's something that the parents should be discussing with their kid when they feel is appropriate.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like, the talk should not be coming from somebody at school.
Right.
Like that.
They're going to learn. Like, you also got to factor in this, though. Like, some kids, again, product of their environment, so what they see at home might not be what your child sees at home.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm not big on the school thing for kids. Is because, and this is a problem that I have with my boys, is, like, I was actually the parent that gave a shit. I won full custody of my sons 2 separate times in a Commonwealth state. I was my own lawyer representing for them. I actually sent a lot
Clap for the man.
Yeah, I've actually set a lot of pretenses in the court system, whether it be like keeping journals, like when you're handing the child back off and on. They didn't do that before. They're like, "Why? That seems very petty. You won't speak to your kid's mom." I was like, "Well, it's documented what I did with the children. She documents and gives it back. That's what a court stenographer does. Why can't I do it?" And they're like, "Oh, really? Yeah, that's a good idea." Yeah, I know. Well, anyways, but I would send my kids to school, and then their friends, their home life wasn't so good. So they saw things that my kids didn't see, and they were free to go out and do whatever the fuck they wanted. And then I would be like, no, you got to be home at this time. I had standards, I had rules. But then they're like, well, you're an asshole father. Like, you're a dick, like you're this, you're that. They let their kids do whatever. And like, yeah, they don't fucking care. They don't have the investment in you that I have. And they don't have the own investment in their own children that they should have. So, they're going to pick up stuff about sex. They're going to pick up stuff about
especially with how much exposure there is to the internet.
You're going to learn with your peers. You're going to be like, okay, and they're like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? And then they're going to mimic it.
Yeah, but but that's completely different
from teachers
than somebody who's a grown adult just going, hey, we're going to talk, because that's like all the time. Like, that's what happens for some reason, because people want to make that their entire personality, whatever it is,
right?
And just like, it's like, no, just don't talk to children about stuff like that. And if they ask, you keep it age appropriate,
right?
Because like you said,
if it gets uncomfortable, call a parent, like, hey, they're kind of questioning this, they were exposed to this, somebody said this, I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
Have the conversation.
Yeah. And I have some friends that are teachers. They're good teachers, and they do stuff like that. Yeah. And most teachers are like that. Yeah. The problem is you have a very loud, 1 to 2%, and that are just like, guess what? And they get on TikTok and everything, and it's just, let the parents parent.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
But as far as the testosterone goes, Avatar made $2.9 billion worldwide since it's been released. Endgame made 2.8, Titanic 2.1. But that means, in order for Avatar 2 to break even, it's got to be in the top 50 of all-time grossing movies.
What's number 50?
1 billion.
Jurassic World
Dominion.
And then what's above that?
The Dark Knight.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually surprised The Dark Knight
I'm off
was...
camera now. Sorry, guys. I had to lean in and see what the fuck he had on his screen. We gotta get that other monitor up there. Probably connected to the TV over here.
Oh, yeah. But so he goes and says that...
I'm guaranteeing it doesn't break top 25. I'll say it right now. Not even top 25 all time.
Aquaman.
Because it's been far too fucking long. Aquaman's in the top. What?
Yeah, that's number 25.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It peaked at number 20 with 1.14 billion. I'm actually surprised there's so many new movies, but I guess with access being the way it is compared to what it used to be, especially like in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of not surprised it's a lot of newer movies that are in the top grossing. I think the oldest one might be when did Star Wars The Force Awakens come out?
Endgame is number 2?
Yeah, Endgame is number 2.
Absolute dog shit. Why?
Well, Titanic is number 3.
Infinity War should be out of that. Where's
Infinity War is number 5.
Put it back in theaters. I'll go watch it and put it about the number 2.
Well, Endgame's 2.8, Infinity War's 2, so that's about 30%.
Not comic book accurate, but much better than like Endgame. Yeah. I think Endgame was just the suspense building. It was like, oh shit, we got to see what happens here, and I kind of knew what was happening before it came out, and not because I read spoilers. You just kind of assumed they were going to bring everybody back. Like, oh yeah, there's no consequences for this. We're going to bring everybody back. And
Captain Marvel is number 28 with 1.12 billion gross.
Wow.
Which I thought everyone hated this movie.
I just didn't. It didn't fit.
I thought with Brie Larson's whatever it was she was saying, I don't even remember. Like people hated her, and
it just didn't fit. It just where were you? Why weren't you in the Marvel U? And then they kind of fucking shittily explained why she was gone, and there's other planets and all that stuff. But it just it didn't fit. You definitely could have did something to fill the gap between that and Infinity War or Endgame. Dumb. Ultron wasn't a global scale threat or anything. She could have shot. Yeah, I didn't like the way they just shoehorned her in. But they were trying to. They're dick measuring with Warner Brothers putting out Wonder Woman at the time. They're like, Wonder Woman did fucking amazing. I wasn't a particular fan of the movie. 10
of the 50 movies are Marvel movies, but I thought Wonder Woman was decent. I liked it.
First hour, I was Snorefest for me. They picked up after that, but the first hour was just kind of trying to stay awake. And also, I'm also the same thing with Captain America, the first one. Everybody loved that. I was kind of eh.
What I liked about the first Captain America is that, and even the first Iron Man, and why I think Marvel really got their foot in the door is you didn't really need to know anything about Marvel and their characters to enjoy the movies. They actually put the effort in towards those movies.
Yeah.
And
character establishment was there.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll say that, but Cap, I was just dry. Yay.
I can see why you'd think that especially the first part of that movie. But
Winter Soldier was better, I think, definitely.
Yeah, I personally loved Civil War, because that was an unofficial Avengers
also,
movie.
Not comic book accurate because people were on opposing sides that were on different sides. It was different, but it was still good though. I thought it was decent.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't mind them taking little liberties like that.
Right.
Because you want to make it make sense in the story that you have.
Right.
But overall, it was still, it got the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting though. Disney's very rich. They've got. Do they own Avatar too? Just the Marvel movies. They have 10 of them. They have a bunch of other. There's Frozen, Beauty and the Beast. That's definitely Disney.
Was that
the Emma Watson one?
No shit.
Yeah.
That's what number? 15?
19.
19?
1.26 billion.
I didn't know it was that high. There's some movies on there I didn't expect to be on there. Iron Man 3's on there.
Aladdin's at $1 billion. Yeah. Iron Man 3's. And basically anything over $1 billion is going to end up in the top 50 here.
Yeah, I could see why some of those movies are in there though, because it was just a popular thing going on, and it was a big draw.
Well, especially the live adaptations, Aladdin and whatnot. So many people.
Was Aladdin on there? The live adaptation?
Yeah, it's on here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's. Where did it go? It was right here.
Jasmine was fucking smoke, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was a bad adaptation, but you're never gonna get rid of the OG Robin Williams original.
Yeah.
I know it's animated, but
Well, there's this thing called uh, Disney adults is like the unofficial term for it. It's people that grew up with these movies, and they make the live adaptation. Then they want to go see these adaptations because they love the story as kids, and then they take their kids. And Disney's, if they stick to the story, they can make a lot more money than they're even doing now.
Right.
But like we were saying, they want to take too many liberties and completely change characters around.
That's your writers. Letting them do it.
I should watch Aladdin. You think I would have watched Aladdin by now? Being the Arab.
But why? Because you're Arab? That's
Yeah.
pretty racist there, buddy.
Hey, it can't be racist against myself.
No, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it would be in the top 50 movies of all time.
Well, this is just engrossing.
Sales, yeah.
So
And
yeah.
revenue, I get it, but I didn't think it would be that fucking high.
Yeah. I've never even actually watched Avatar. When it first came out, I'm like, wait, they making an Airbender movie?
And that came out what?
2009.
What?
2009.
Yeah, we're 13 years removed from that. He's putting out another one, and testosterone's bad.
See, I can see why it takes so long to make a movie like this.
Right.
Because basically everything's CGI, and they do a really good job from the trailers. It looks like they've done a really good job with all the editing and CGI and whatnot. And that stuff takes a lot of time to do. I was doing a little basic animations for my fitness videos, and it was taking forever. Creating an entire world, the equipment alone's got to cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's definitely not.
But so I can see why about the time in it, but it's just such a stupid business move. Why are it's like Elon going to release a new Tesla and then start talking crap like he did before. He I forget what he said, but as they were releasing the trucks, I think it was the designs for it.
Right.
He said he didn't really care about stock prices whatsoever, and then the stock prices dropped because people are like, oh, that means he doesn't care about the company. Or people were selling off their shares, and it tanked the price for 2 weeks.
Wow.
But still, in that 2 weeks, his net worth went down 15-20%.
Right.
But a lot of these people don't realize that what they say is going to have major impact on so many lives that they don't even know about.
Unless you're unapologetic and you just hold your stance, that's fine. But if you're doing it out of a place of
testosterone is evil.
Yeah, dude.
It's what? Personally, I'm really glad my testosterone kicked in when it did.
Yeah, this dude acts like he's never had sex before, or he's ever, who knows? He's in pedo wood. He's probably kid diddled. Who knows? I don't know. Fuck this dude. Whatever. I might be wrong.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah. You're gonna say that
from a business standpoint, I don't understand it.
Let's emasculate men and make them soft and non-combative, and yeah.
What's that? I forget that meme that was running around. It's weak men create hard times create strong men create good times create weak men.
Yeah.
That cycle.
The cycle.
We're in the good times creating weak men portion.
Yeah, we are. That is right. Yeah, we've got to walk that shit back before.
You know what the problem is?
Our children have to deal with it.
Do you know what the main problem is? I think it was Bill Burr. He said it best. He's like, it used to be when you had a stupid idea, you'd say your stupid idea, and that was it. Now you can get online and you can say your stupid idea, and there's going to be other stupid people going, duh, that sounds like a great idea.
A little copycat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he said that, I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Ice bucket challenge, man, has evolved into some shit show. It really has.
I thought that was kind of fun.
I nominate this person. Yeah, but it was
some
algorithm in the beginning type shit. Okay, everybody's doing it. I'm going to nominate my friend to do it and see if they're cool enough to do it. And nobody fucking benefited from it. Everybody got cold and wet.
But the thing about the ice bucket challenge, though, that was a fun thing. It's like
fucking stupid.
But like the
okay,
the climate,
like it, you're allowed to.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny because
partake.
And it didn't harm anybody.
It didn't harm
and
anybody.
Whatnot.
But it was
so
just
like,
kind of monkey. It was the precursor to set. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Everybody's gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. Everybody's gonna, and it just evolved into okay. Here we go.
I'll give you the crate
social
challenge.
Distancing.
Stupid.
Mask up, stay home. It saves lives. It went from there to fucking there in a matter of a decade plus. And
That's
I'm like, oh fuck.
That's a bit of a leap for me.
No, that's what it was. It's exactly what it was, and there's no argument. It's just like, okay, everybody's doing this. Oh, this is so easy. It's like the Pied Piper, and then they go this way, and then they go this way. Let's see how extreme they fucking get with this. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, man. That's why I don't partake in stupid shit like that. I have my own stupid shit I partake in.
Okay, but so that means you definitely did not do the crate challenge.
No, I ain't doing no crate challenge. My insurance ain't covering that shit.
I didn't do the crate challenge.
Oh, fuck that.
So like everyone that tried the crate challenge
do the critical thinking challenge. Like that's what I was doing the whole fucking time.
Well, they clearly never tried to stand on a single milk crate, let alone like 10 of them.
Yeah, this ain't Mario, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you can take fall
Like,
damage.
I did I did like not the crate challenge, but like when I had my convenience store, I had milk crates all the time. You know, like we sold milk all the time. I had them, but sometimes I'd stand on them because I'm not a very tall person.
Right.
You know, I'm average. But
6'4", 260 in the house. Back to my Hobbit co-host.
I am short and I am proud. I am short and I am proud.
Oh man.
But like I'd stand on one or two of them and it would be all wobbly and I'm like, nope.
It's also distribution of your weight too and balance and stuff like that. So
yeah, but
I'm
it's
pretty
just
agile for as big as I am.
But still, you get on
I ain't doing it.
three plus of those. It's just
no fucking way.
Yeah, it's just
no way.
Plus like
you can't put another quarter in and start over like that you're gonna get hurt.
Well, yeah, some people like I was watching those wipeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, it was hilarious. And you know why I found it hilarious, despite the fact some people did get seriously injured? Because you chose you're stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like the bike.
You knew the risk involved.
Yeah. Like the ice bucket challenge, I thought that was fun because it didn't hurt anyone. The crate challenge is like. Know of. I mean, it's like dumping the Gatorade on your coach. It's not really. It wasn't a big deal.
I want to see the ice bucket challenge happen now with all these chicks and their fake eyelashes. Just like. Wash the whole filter away. Like, wow, man, she went from an 8 to a fucking 3 real quick.
I told a friend of mine who doesn't really have natural eyebrows.
Yeah.
I told her if they ever get to the point where they can transplant eyebrows, I'll let you borrow some of mine. Because look at these puppies. Yeah.
We got mustaches on his fucking eyes over here.
Exactly.
Fucking porn stash eyebrows.
I'm from the 90s, but my eyebrows are from the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're giving these chicks Sharpies for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, when women ride my face, they ride it up here.
I'm looking at myself on camera, and I'm like, oh, I'm leaning over here, but I'm only doing that so I can get closer to the mic until we figure someone else out. Like,
hey, they can see more of those beautiful, beautiful figures behind you.
Hold the mic like I'm an MC up in here. Yo.
Hey, yo. Do some rapping for us, King.
Word to your mom.
I heard she's the bomb.
Bomb that shit like nom.
When I put her on my dong.
Blow it up like Saddam.
And I'll do it all night long.
I'm done.
I'm having fun.
Oh, Christ.
Come on. That was I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
All right. I'm not stoned enough for that one. Oh, is this still on there? Does this come off?
Why don't we do that next episode? You can write some lines if you want, and we'll go back and forth and play the rhyming game.
Oh jeez.
And just see where it evolves into.
Actually, I might be working on getting a special guest, and I'm not going to spoil it. It is somebody from the comic book industry and animation industry. So I'm not going to drop any names, but I'm going to work on that, and hopefully we can get that out to you. It'll be entertaining. This dude's really cool. Really cool. I like him.
Yeah.
Very talented. I have some of his artwork hanging up in my man cave as we speak.
Do you want to show a piece?
Well, without giving the name, I will show a piece.
Oh yeah. Want to hide the name there for?
There it is. There's one of his variant Batmans. I've got several of them.
It's very nice.
But yeah,
oh, careful! Watch the head.
Cracking my head off.
Just cracked his head open. Oh, they couldn't see it here.
The stream. I'm bleeding. No, I'm not really.
No, put it on the stream.
Right.
All right, guys. So we will have a special guest once tech support over here figures out a few things.
Yeah.
And
was there anything else we were gonna do on here?
no, that's real quick. Gogeta versus Vegito. Comment in the comments. Leave a comment who you prefer, Vegito or Gogeta. We're gonna give you our picks, and then we're gonna be signing off.
Who would you like to fuck your dog in a nativity scene? Would it be Gogeta or Vegito? Oh my god.
Careful.
Put the link in the comments.
I just hope it's not Boo's dog.
Oh man.
although they'd both blow him away, but
oh my goodness. No,
actually,
I had a preference.
Question. Do you think Tournament of Power Majin Buu, who didn't actually fight, could beat Buu Saga Vegito?
Buu Saga Vegito.
Versus Fat Buu when he lost all the weight before the Tournament of Power.
Who was in the Tournament of Power? I'm trying to remember.
Well, Buu didn't fight in the Tournament of Power because he was sleeping, but he lost all that
Tournament
weight.
of Power, that was the one where Jiren was in and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Buu, in that arc...
But he fell asleep. How the fuck am I going to know?
Well, he fought with Goku beforehand.
Yeah.
And he actually had some great moves on him. And Goku was using a Super Saiyan Blue.
Oh, man. They shit on him and didn't let him get in. Man. That would have been cool to see him in there.
Goku technically lost that round with Buu. Buu knocked him out of like the area they were fighting in for the out of bounds.
And then he fell asleep.
Yeah, and then he fell asleep. Which I think they made him fall asleep because his powers are so broken.
Yeah.
Like when Goku he could have healed Goku up every single time.
He was a funny character.
Oh, I like Buu. Like it's
especially the fat one.
Yeah, the fat one.
Yeah.
Like Kid Buu is just a mindless killing machine.
Yeah.
I liked Buuhan, but like
Gohan absorbed Buu.
Yeah, like Buuhan and Buu tanks. Like I liked that because he was incredibly dangerous but incredibly smart. Like he was kind of like Cell. Like Cell was my favorite villain,
right?
Because he didn't just show up and I could easily kill all of you, but I'm not going to do it right now. So he had to actually sneak around and try absorb the androids and whatnot. Like it wasn't just a straight up I'm stronger than you. I'm gonna wait for you to get stronger than me.
Right.
Yeah,
if I had a preference between these two favorites, probably Gogeta. Yeah.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I love how Vegito was toying around with Buu in the Buu saga, but at the end of the day, this is our final trump card for all my Dokkan fans out there. That's where this image is from.
Mm-hmm.
I want the guy to show up, do the work, save everybody, because if he just keeps playing around, because neither of these fusions last very long.
Right.
So, all right, we think Gogeta's the better fusion. Comment below what you think, and let us know why you're wrong.
Let us know why you're wrong.
Critical thinking, guys. That's the main theme of today's hour.
Should be the main theme. Well, that's the thing about common sense is it's not so common, but yeah, there should be the
way the economy is, neither sense.
Mainstay is critical thinking. But yeah, man, this is not a bad episode, but like we're figuring it out as we go along. We'll try to provide entertaining content as we go through.
Just let us know what you guys want us to discuss, and
or
that
if
makes
anybody
it
out
easier.
there wants to jump on with us. Like I got a few people that want to, but like
we can Skype you in.
Skype on in. But yeah, I'm the little teapot, not so short or stout.
And I'm Monty, reminding you that if her hair costs more than your shoes, she probably belongs to the streets. Good night, folks.
Oh wait, one more. If she got bunions on her feet, she belongs in the streets.
Hey yo! Good night, guys.
Deuces.
Okay, I found my mouse. Now, good night.